What's up, guys? With St. Patrick's Day coming down the pipeline, a lot of sales are going to be made in this niche. There's a lot of different ways to approach it. In this video, I am tailoring it towards making sales on Etsy. So I did some Etsy research on the phrase St. Patrick's Day shirt for women. I took a look at some of the best sellers and I said, you know what? I think I can do a quick design tutorial on how to create some of these designs, specifically the ones you see behind me in the thumbnail of this video. So I'm going to show you how to design them, and then I can very quickly show you how I would go about creating some listings on my Etsy shop. So let's get to it. So check this out. I came over to Etsy and typed in St. Patrick's Day shirt for women. Let's take just a quick look, a quick scroll down the page at the type of design styles that are performing really well. You'll never guess, but Etsy tends to put the best sellers for that search term or search phrase, in this case, that someone typed in, towards the top, because at the top you'll get the most visibility and they want to make their customers happy, right? Hopefully that's not news to anybody, but you know what I mean? They want to put the most relevant products that they think the customer will like in front of them, so they put them towards the top. And the closer you are to the top, the more visibility you get, the more sales you make. It's a little feedback loop. All right. Now, I specifically picked out a few different designs that I liked. The first one is this simple shamrock with a different overlay. So they actually let you choose what pattern you want on your shamrock design. Now, this makes me believe that they're not actually probably like printing glitter, like putting an actual glitter on the shirt or like a sequin or anything like that. It's probably just a like print on demand design, you know. So I think we can definitely handle making something like this. The next one I wanted to do is going to be kind of the shamrock made of smaller elements. And the third is just going to be a simple lucky sweatshirt, right? Where we just use a good font and we type out the word lucky, because there's actually a couple of those selling pretty well. Like here's one. I swear there was more. Upon further inspection, of course, I went out of one browser into a different web browser, and then it changed up the results slightly. So I do have the listing itself saved right here, and it used to be on page 1. Now I don't know exactly where it is. Either way, you can tell it's definitely a successful shop. It's got over 21,000 sales. So we're going to design these today, and then I'll show you how I would go about listing them on Etsy for sale myself. Also, one thing I'm not going to spend too long on in this video is showing you how to make really good thumbnails, because that could be a whole, like, we could do like a whole week-long course on how to make good thumbnails, but you can't skip that part. Part of why these simple designs behind me are performing so well is because whoever made this listing framed them really well, so they perform well, they get clicked in search results. Anyways, let's start with this one. So if I want to make a design like this and even offer up different versions of it, like where we can, you know, change the appearance of the design element itself, which again, that's going to be a customization. That's on you to fulfill if you offer it. But even if you don't, you just want to make this, I mean, simple enough, right? Now, I don't know really how to go about designing. I mean, if I tried hard enough, I'm sure I could figure out the little shamrock, but let's be real. I can just go to Creative Fabrica, grab a shamrock. So right here, there is I say shamrock, clover. Maybe I'm calling it the wrong thing. I grab a clover here. There's an SVG, you know what I mean? And there's a bunch of them to choose from. So I said, this one looks good enough. So I grabbed this SVG. I've got it over here in the folder. All right. And then I can just bounce to Photoshop and take the SVG, drag, drop it in, boom. Okay. That's step one. But how do we get the glittery effect that we see here? You know, and if we want to offer multiple glitter effects, how do we do that? You know, we know how to do solid color, hopefully. So we can go to Vexels. This is just one way that I like to do it. All right. We can go to Vexels, P-E-X-E-L-S. I'll drop links to everything in the description. And I don't know, we could try typing in glitter. I don't know that that's how I'd normally do it. Okay. Yeah, this should work actually. So they do have like glittery patterns. I would try to grab one that looks like more straightforward, straight on. Let me just scroll for a little bit. Just make sure I don't pass up on a better one. No, I think that one is going to be probably the best. In the past too, I've also just looked up universe, and you can actually take pictures of like the stars and it'll work very similarly. So anyways, you can click free download and it'll download it. I already did that on my end. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this into Photoshop. Like you can see here over my shoulder, I will cover the entire shamrock. So actually I have a little piece hanging out the bottom there. Boom. I covered the entire shamrock, and then I'm just going to right click the layer, which I'm covering up behind me. I'm going to right click this layer here, and I'm just going to hit create clipping mask. And when it does that, look, it covers the shamrock, the clover. And here's the cool thing, right? If we want to sell customizable colors, which is definitely not a required step, but sometimes like Steven was saying in the interviews that you guys were loving that I dropped last week, sometimes you just got to take a hint from the people doing it better than you. So what you can do if you want to offer different colors and different design styles, you can click image, go to adjustments, go to hue/saturation. All right. And then you can just play around with the hue and it'll actually change the color of the shamrock. So if you want like a green, boom, you can play around with the saturation as well. All right. If you guys aren't familiar with these concepts, quick Google search probably do the job, but either way. All right. So you can make it red, blue, green, really whatever you want. All right. So a nice green shamrock there, maybe make a little bit deeper saturation. I think that looks good against the white shirt. And for all intents and purposes, that's really what I was looking to do here. Now, if you like this pattern more, it looks more like a sequin pattern. Again, it's really up to you. I mean, if you have a Creative Fabrica subscription, I'm sure you could type in like sequin pattern or something like that. And they have everything here. So of course, yeah, they've got a bunch of them here on Creative Fabrica, as you can see behind me. You can go here and do it. You can go back to Vexels and look for something. But again, I'm just trying to show you that there's really no excuse. I mean, you can do this really easily. Also, there's a website called Photopea. All right. It's a free online version of Photoshop that works in your web browser. I'll link to that in the description as well. In case you don't have Photoshop, you don't feel like paying for it. No worries. You get it for free anyways. No excuses. All right, next one. This one is a little bit trickier for me because I'm not as experienced with creating bigger designs from smaller designs. Like I would trust Juna at Detour Shirts, a professional graphic designer, to do this like 10 times better than me. So you know what I might do is I might just stick to my strengths. I might come to the shape cloud generator on Creative Fabrica. So when using this tool, first go to tools in navigation, then go down to shape cloud and it'll bring you here. You're actually able to upload custom shapes. So I went ahead and I took our SVG that we grabbed from Creative Fabrica earlier and I uploaded the SVG here. You'll notice it's missing a stem. So when we're done with this graphic, we'll probably have to go in and just like manually add in a stem that doesn't have a word. But from here, guys, first and foremost, we can change the color to green. We can change the font if we want to. I'm actually okay with this font though, Pacifico font. And then we can add our own words. So we can delete the basic words here and we could type in, clover, leprechaun, lucky, gold, why not? St. Patty, what else is there? Green, the color green. Does that sound good? And then we can just hit update changes. And then when it spits out the end result, you can click download design. I'm just gonna honestly screenshot it for the sake of this video to keep it moving. And then I'm gonna turn off our previous work. I'll paste this one. And again, what you're seeing me do here is not how you would do it. I'm just doing this for the sake of the video. So you paste it in here. And if you wanna just draw a tail on, first I'm gonna grab the color green. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to grab the tail off of the original shamrock, make my life easy here. So I'll just go ahead and cut that off. I will re-enable our previous one. You'll notice that the color green does not match. So that's something that I should probably do. So I'll right click, I'll do blending options, do a color overlay, and I will borrow the color green to match the text in our shape cloud design. So check that out. That was easy enough, right? And then of course, we're going to export it as a transparent PNG and upload it for sale. The last one that we wanted to do, very simple, straightforward design. I mentioned, I alluded to earlier that the reason this is probably selling so well, number one, it's a shop that has a lot of sales. They very clearly know what they're doing. 21,000 plus sales, good keywords, all that stuff, but also just great framing of the products. Now, I don't know of a way to offer, I do know of a way. I don't know of a way that doesn't require a lot of additional time and effort to rig, to offer, a white product with a green design and a green product with a white design. If that's something you want to do, know that it can be done, but to do it and have it fully automated, it's going to require some extra rigging that if there's enough interest, maybe we do a video on that in the future, but I typically will just pick one and move along with that to keep it straightforward. That being said here, we really just need a good script font to make this work. And why don't we go ahead and actually make the background color green for this one, and we'll use a white foreground. So before I started recording this video, I went and I found a really nice script font that I actually love for this purpose called Lionel. on Creative Fabrica. They've got tens of thousands of fonts. Of course, they've got, you know, a font for every occasion. This one though, wait till you see how good it looks. Okay, so all we really need to do is type lucky, but we just need to make it look good enough that people want to buy it. So I'm gonna flip the text to white. I'm gonna hit T to open the text tool. I've already got the Lionel font selected because I, prepped for this video to make sure it looked good for you guys. And now I'm just gonna type in lucky. And check that out. I actually think it looks like really good. Now, if we study how these guys have done it, they've got it overlaid on basically where the pocket would be. But what I'll recommend is we can still export it here in a large size. By the way, I'm using the, old Amazon merch dimensions, 4500 by 5400 for the design space. It's not required. Either way, I'll export it from here and then I'll show you how we can upload this to Awkward Styles and make this available for sale. And we can do it, across the chest if we want to, or we can put it, across the pocket like we see here in this listing. So if we jump on over here to Awkward Styles, this is just my test account. We go over here to product catalog, and what do? We're talking about women's clothing here. That's how we started. We'll do sweatshirts. And then most likely you're going to want to use the Gildan 18,000. I mean, personally, I've got a couple of these. They're extremely comfortable, extremely soft. And that's what a lot of the people on Etsy are selling because it's most likely going to be the most affordable option. It's also like a well-respected, trusted brand. So Gildan 18,000 is the first one up there in the top left corner. I'm going to click that. They've also got a nice Kelly green right there. So now we can scroll down here to the bottom. I'm going to select, I said Kelly green. Let's just be accurate and say Irish green. All right, we've got that right there. And then I'm just going to upload the design, then go ahead and click it. It'll add it to the mockup. Now, you can make it bigger, as big as you'd like. You can also make it smaller and overlay it over the pocket like that. Basically, and you can hit preview if you want to see how it's going to look when it's all said and done. You want the pocket design, boom, they got you covered. Now, of course, I do like to just remind you that you're going to want to take these images that look like what the product will look like and then go and do a little wizardry to enhance your primary thumbnail if you really want to compete on some pretty basic style designs on the St. Patrick's Day niche. You're going to want to compete, especially with not just a good, quality listing with good images, but also on price. When you initially post the listing and you just have a brand new listing, having a competitive price, even if you're just breaking even, is a nice way of helping you increase your odds of getting ranked in a very competitive space. All right, we should be able to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, St. Patrick's Day, everybody sees it coming from a mile away, so you got to figure out what's going to make your listings different. But yeah, guys, if you use Awkward Styles for fulfillment, it's only going to cost you $12.10 to have your Gildan 18,000 sweatshirt fulfilled. That leaves you a nice buffer for profit, especially after you've made a few sales. If you want to increase the price to maybe $29.99, then you've really got some room for running ads maybe, which will help you further improve your ranking. That's, by the way, that price point is with Awkward Styles Pro. If you join Awkward Styles and you use code Ryan Hogue, which I'll put in the description, they'll give you 2 months of Pro for free, so you get the best fulfillment prices out there. That's it, guys. That's all I wanted to cover. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know if you have ideas or requests for future videos, something along these lines. I'm definitely not the best designer out there, but I can figure out how to do most of the popular stuff that we see a lot of these shops doing. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Check out everything. I'll link everything in the description, and I'll see you guys at the next video.